don't know why everyone's been so doomy gloomy recently. It's like everyone's forgotten it was only 2 years ago that me and a band of brave bug blasters managed to eradicate 4 diseases that could have killed all of humanity. I mean, what's wrong? Everything's gonna be fine now. Oh. It's finally here. I mean, we did so well saving the world 2 years ago that I was in denial it would ever come, but here it is on my shelf, and I'm both happy and mortified. Our team of Cure curators aren't the only ones that had to keep up appearances, however, because Pandemic Legacy Season 2 is the follow-up to the greatest Legacy game of all time, especially if you got the Blue Edition. And as such, we're so excited to delve into it that we're doing another series of Legacy videos for it, just like we did for the Seafall Saga.
Yeah, when are you getting around to that?
I'll do it soon, I swear. We haven't given up on it. If you haven't seen the Seafall Saga, every video focuses on a game, and the first half of the video is me standing up here talking with no spoilers about my opinions of how things are going so far and whether or not it's worth purchasing. We already know it's worth purchasing with this. But for the second half, we take it to the Dicey Exploits coffee table, where we look at the board, the destroyed cards, and I really give you an in-depth look at how we're playing the game, how we think the story's going to go, and just show you exactly how much we've poured into the game and how much it's destroyed our very being. As things have changed since Season 1, Pandemic Legacy Season 2 comes with a prologue game, which is what we're going to be focusing on here, and I'm kind of going to break the rules a little bit with the series, but only on this one. It's kind of hard for me to talk about the game without showing the board and its components, although that might be just because I'm so excited to bring this out onto the table. So we're going to head straight there. Don't worry, I'll give you a clear warning of when that is. If you don't want to see the board or any of the components or learn about any of the mechanics, you probably want to skip to our January-February playthrough, which will be up next week, I swear, because we really want to dig into this one. However, it features no narrative spoilers, and we haven't even written on any of the components whatsoever, even named anything, with no souls gone into it. We've kept it as immaculate as we possibly can, so you get a real idea of what you get straight out of the box. So if you don't mind seeing the game out of the box, hearing me delve into the mechanics, or hearing me tell you why you shouldn't be so cocky when it comes to approaching Season 2, stick around. If not, wait until the next video comes out. I swear it will not be long to hear me talk about my opinions of the campaign as soon as it gets started. Right, that's your warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's funk up the globe. Pandemic Legacy Series 2 is you... Britishism. Sorry. Pandemic Legacy Season 2 is you and up to 3 other players attempting to save humanity from the very brink of extinction in a world where all disease has been eradicated and replaced by one particularly nasty plague that's gone and brillowed most of the globe off. All your favourite friends / enemies are here, including colourful player cards filled to the brim with knowledge, disgusting infection cards, which we'll get into those later, horrid epidemic cards, and cubes. And forget any training you've had with previous Pandemic games, because those cubes flip everything on its head, seeing as you're actually trying to add them onto the board. Well, at least some of them. You're useless, all of you, especially you, actually. Get out. These grey cubes are vital supplies, tools, medicine, Pop-Tarts for morale, and the main thing staving off the plague from entering cities. Most of your time will be spent carrying these supplies to places that desperately need them. Of course, it's important to keep cities well stocked, because after every turn, the infection deck's going to kick in and start taking those supplies away, aren't you, you little... Each city drawn in the infection deck will take 1 cube of supplies away. And if you start drawing cities that don't have supplies in them, you get to add cubes! Plague cubes! Plague cubes are disgusting little oddities. Every single time one is added to the board, you are 1 step closer to losing. They have the same game-ending effect as outbreaks, and can still outbreak. Nice to see some traditions kept alive, but of course, can supply cubes outbreak? No, because that doesn't make sense, but... This need to balance supplies in an orderly fashion is currently the main tension that comes with Season 2, and it's absolutely horrible, because as infection cards start to drain supplies from the board, you start to realise there aren't enough to go around. In a standard game in Pandemic, you're already pushed for time, but here, it really feels like a struggle, and it really feels like that's meant to be the point. At first, I naively thought the prologue game would be a simple introduction, considering the fact there's only 9 cities on the board to keep under control. I thought it would be okay, but everyone's insatiable need for supplies, which is, I guess, fairly understandable, firmly put me in my place very quickly. That was one of 2 things. The second thing was this deck, seriously. Again, I naively thought, there's 9 cities, there'll only be 9 infection cards, but no, there's 27. Because duplicates. And because of that, Everything is at risk here. Epidemic still take the bottom card of the infection deck and wipe out that city's supplies entirely. So that means in one turn a city can have multiple plague cubes in it, and there's nothing you could do about it. And that's horrible if you grow attachments to the characters you're playing as, because the scarring systems change. And I like it, but I don't like it. Players now have a series of scratchable squares for exposure. If a character starts a turn in a city with a plague cube, then they have to start scratching those panels off. You scratch these off in numerical order, I'm not going to tell you how that works, and if you reveal a scar icon, then you take a negative ability. If you reveal a skull though, character's dead, that's it, they're out of the game completely. And that concerns me because, well, naturally you'd think the skull's always at 7, but what if they've put a skull under a different number? I genuinely don't know if they've done that. Are we doomed to kill off a really good character with Scratch 2? What's going on? I don't want to do this. We haven't even made any permanent changes yet, and already this game is piquing my anxiety. But the one thing I'm going to bear in mind, I'm going to keep it there, and it'll hopefully get me through the end of the campaign in December, is the fact that this world already feels like it's doomed. Anything we do is going to be an improvement, and I have the instruction manual to thank for that, because there's just a little bit, a nice little prologue in that sums everything up. And I have a funny feeling I'm going to be commending the narrative throughout this entire campaign from beginning to end for really setting the tone. It's a real step up from Season 1, and I just hope it improves and is really good. But what good is hope? Right, I don't even know what that does. Like, genuinely, I've read it in the instructions, but I don't know what that does. If you're new to board games or legacy games, have just rode a wave of hype over to Pandemic Legacy Season 2, then you're probably wondering if you have to play Pandemic Legacy Season 1 first. Narratively, apparently you don't, although I would recommend doing so, or if not that, at least playing the original Pandemic with On the Brink expansion, because it's genuinely fantastic. I say that because discovering the similarities and yet the differences between regular Pandemic and this, and finding out what Matt and Rob are trying to sneak past you, is genuinely quite satisfying, because they are trying something sneaky in that manual, and they haven't caught me out, because I'm not dumb. Because dumbness costs lives. So yeah, I'm excited of our playthrough of Pandemic Legacy Season 2, and we'll be documenting it as best we can on the channel. Please subscribe if you want to watch that, give me something to look forward to, and if you think you're a Pandemic expert and nothing I said has particularly frightened you, let me scare you with 3 little words. There's no medic in this. Happy Halloween! If there's one thing this game's good at, it's apparently making noises I never thought I could have made.